You know what's crazy is I can't believe how much Taysom Hill divided the fantasy community. I get the whole tight end thing and I get the whole possible cheat code. I totally understand that and why people are upset. But man, all I saw was Taysom Hill, Taysom Hill. And you know what? I actually started him as a quarterback, so I didn't look too bad. I'm glad I did. He did really well. So thank you, Taysom. I appreciate what you did for me. Let's do it again. Hey, fantasy football community. This is Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and my name is Steve, and I am here with your Week 12 waiver wire video. So we are in Week 12 now. 2 weeks left until the playoffs start, at least for most leagues, right? If we can all agree upon that. So 2 weeks left, which means every move you make is very crucial, okay? So adding the right players, making sure you're putting the right players in their starting lineup, everything matters. If you haven't clinched your playoff spot yet, again, 2 games left, all right? So you guys have the ability to get there. Hopefully this video helps you guys get that, making sure you guys are picking up the right players. What I put together for you guys as far as, your quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, tight ends, and so on, I made sure I picked up players in this waiver wire list that are, one, available in most leagues, okay? I'm not going to mention players that have under, say, 30%, but are available. And on top of that, I like to look at schedules beyond not just this week, but also the next few weeks, because they might be somebody that you may end up starting to help you out with the playoffs, right? So playoffs are around the corner. You want to make sure you guys have the right players to put you in the right situation. So everybody I pick here, for the most part, most of their playoff games for you are pretty good, right? Some good matchups. So I made sure I've got some good players for you. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button somewhere down here. I think it's that red thing, Make sure you hit that. We are 107 subscribers right now, moving closer and closer to our goal of 125 for this week. Again, we are running our giveaway. If we get to 300 subscribers, we're going to announce on YouTube who won. Make sure to enter, subscribe. If you want, follow us on Twitter so we can help you out with any questions you have. Also, comment in any of our latest videos your favorite NFL team. Once we hit that 300 subscribe mark, we'll announce on YouTube who the winner is for either your favorite NFL mini helmet or your favorite NFL hat. So we want to be able to help you guys out, get you something for free, especially, it's the holidays. We want to give away. So the more you guys help us with that, the more giveaways we can have for you guys this season. So thank you so much for those who have subscribed. If you haven't, again, shame on you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button so that way we can it's our way of seeing that you guys like what you're getting, right? So we want to hit that like button for us. Also, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll have the handles down in the description below. So that way you guys can ask any questions you want. Follow, any of the NFL news that we're updating. We're constantly updating anything, whether it be COVID, injuries, anything like that would help you guys out to get you the upper hand for your fantasy matchup. So let's dive deep into the waiver wire video. So the first I want to talk about are really the quarterback position. So I've got Derek Carr, I believe, as the number 1 pickup this week. And not just because of who he plays this week. He had a good game against Kansas City at 24 points. He actually does a really good job against Kansas City. And he's had some up and downs, right? He's had those roller coaster moments. But the reason why I have Derek Carr is he's got Atlanta. And then following that, he's got another great matchup. He's got really good matchups coming up. And he's available about 64% in most leagues, which is kind of disappointing for a player that he can really do really well. And he's starting to kind of develop, especially against some tougher defenses. He actually does a really good job. So make sure you grab him. He had 3 touchdowns last week. He's a great start for you guys if you need a quarterback, especially if you're a Joe Burrow owner. Unfortunately, really bad news. Not just the ACL, but he also had MCL and some other damage to his knees. So unfortunately, he's out. Prayers to you. Hopefully you can come back in a speedy recovery for you. But for those Joe Burrow owners, Derek Carr is a great start for you guys, okay? I also want to go into the running back position, and I'll talk about some notable quarterback and running backs. But running back, number one guy, if you hadn't heard the news right now, Gus Edwards is RB1 for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I know they're going against Steelers, so it's a little bit of an if. But last time, actually, the Ravens played the Steelers, Gus Edwards had over 80 yards and 14 points in that game as far as fantasy goes. So Gus Edwards actually does a really good job for that. And since, Dobbins and Ingram are out for Thanksgiving's game due to the COVID IR reserve, he's the guy. I mean, you've got Hill as well, but really Gus Edwards is going to be the guy. So make sure you pick him up. He's available in about 71% of most leagues. Again, he did a great job against Pittsburgh a few weeks ago. So don't be too scared if you had to put him in like maybe a flex spot, maybe an RB2, especially if you have Dobbin odors that he really started doing well. He started kind of carrying the ball. He started becoming the possibly RB1 for Baltimore. Not this week. So make sure you get out after Gus Edwards. As far as some notable quarterback and running back, so I've got also Daniel Jones. I know that's odd, a Giants quarterback that likes to turn over the ball, but he also has the rushing ability. He leads that team in rushing, okay, as a quarterback, and he does a really good job. I mean, Daniel Jones, it's a good matchup. He's got Cincinnati this week. He's available about 72% of the league. Okay, so make sure you grab him. Taysom Hill, 57% available. Surprisingly, he's still available out there. I know a lot of people kind of were hesitant because of the whole quarterback situation. They weren't sure what he was going to do, and then obviously the whole tight end position. But Taysom Hill is available. Going against Denver this week, he's at least going to be the starter for the next 2 to 3 games. On top of that, he's got that rushing ability, so make sure you go after him. As far as running backs go, I put James White in there. It's a little tough when it comes to New England. So obviously Damian Harris is really kind of the ground and pound guy. Sony Michel just got activated from injured reserve, so that adds a little bit of some muddy grayness into this whole backfield. You still have Burkhead, you still have obviously James White. The reason why I put James White is he is still really the PPR third down passing, receiving running back. And if you look at the matchup they've got going up this week, you've got Arizona. Arizona does a great job, obviously very explosive offense. And with James White, they might fall behind. And I think he's going to be the one that kind of suits up and actually does, a lot of the damage as far as the running backs go for New England. So he might be somebody you might want to consider and maybe put in your flex spot. He's available in about 60% of most leagues. Next guy I have in there is Wayne Gallman. Gallman is still available in about 45% of most leagues. He is the starting running back for the Giants since Freeman's been out. Freeman's on IR, and they're going against Cincinnati. So make sure you go after Gallman. He's available. He's a great start. Again, RB2, solid flex start for you guys. Next I want to talk about is wide receiver. Another Giants. I'm mentioning a lot of Giants. I know as a Cowboys fan it kind of hurts me, but they've got a great matchup against Cincinnati. I have Sterling Sharp as a good pickup. Giants actually have some good matchups coming up for the next 2 to 3 games. These are some sneaky players, maybe some sleepers, but Sterling Shepard is averaging 8 targets a game in the last 3 games. Okay, 8 targets. He's doing a great job. Daniel Jones is loving that he's back. He obviously was hurt for most of the first half, but he's doing a great job. He's available in about 55% of most leagues. He's somebody I actually like a lot, especially for the flex spot. Maybe a sneaky sleeper, wide receiver too. Sterling Shepard is a great one. I also want to talk about tight end. So Robert Tonyan, yes, he could be hit or miss, but he had a great game. This past Sunday, he had 15 points. He had a touchdown. He's going against Chicago. I know Chicago, again, is a great defense, but they are not so good against the tight end position. And I like Robert Tonyan again this week. He had 5 targets on Sunday. I expect him about 5 to 6 targets going against Chicago. So make sure you go after him. Tight ends is not a lot out there, so he's one of those guys I would absolutely grab if you have to. As far as some notable receiver and tight end positions go, so as far as some receivers, I've got Nelson Aguilar. Every time I mention this guy, he tends to just flop. But then when I don't talk about him, he does and has an amazing game. He had a great game this past Sunday. He's going against Atlanta as far as the Raiders go. He's available at 80% of most leagues. It's Atlanta. I think he's a good one. I would absolutely start him in the flex spot. Next guy is Corey Davis. So Corey Davis, available in about 49% of most leagues. Tennessee plays Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a tough matchup. Corey Davis had about 11 points in PPR last time they played a couple weeks ago. I like him. I think he's a very sneaky guy to kind of get in there. Again, after Indianapolis, they have some good matchups. Corey Davis is the second receiver. And I think, really, yes, their targets have been a little low, but I think with Corey Davis, he's more of a strong PPR. If you're looking at a standard league, I would not go after him. He's not a touchdown machine like A.J. Brown is. But as far as PPR goes, he's a solid 10 to 15 points. That's a pretty good flex spot for me. So make sure you go after him. Next tight end I want to talk about is Taysom Hill. Gotcha. You're probably mad about that, but all right, just kidding. Not Taysom Hill. He finally got removed, okay, from the tight end position. I actually have Jordan Reed. So Jordan Reed for the San Francisco 49ers. He's the number one tight end, with Kittle being out. And I think with the matchups coming up, he's got the Rams this week. Always, division rival games. Anything can happen in those. He's available in about 85% of most leagues. He's a great, tight end 2. I wouldn't call him a tight end 1 as far as value goes. But he's a good tight end 2, which means he's going to be a 8 to 12 point range unless he gets a touchdown, right? So 8 to 12 points is pretty good for a tight end. Add a touchdown in there. Now you're looking at a ceiling of possibly 16 to 18 points. So I think that's somebody I would take a risk on if you're very, very, very hurt in the tight end position. Jordan Reed's a good one. Also have Dalton, Schultz. With Andy Dalton coming back, that changes the offense and some of the fantasy players when it comes to the Cowboys. I think it benefits Zeke because now you have a quarterback that has a little bit more of threat than some of the rookie quarterbacks that Dallas has played. It also helps some of the receivers, but I also think it helps Dalton, right? So Dalton Schultz was targeted pretty heavily. He's a good matchup, 79% available in most leagues. They're playing against Washington for Thanksgiving. Great tradition there. Washington's okay, middle of the pack when it gets to the tight end. So I think he's a good, sneaky tight end 2. Maybe a slow tight end 1 for you this week. He's a good one I would absolutely go after. Now I want to talk about kickers. I know you guys have asked about this. Kickers are very, very hard to, predict, right? You're talking about someone who is relying on an offense that can go down the field, but possibly not score. But you also need a little bit of those extra points, right? Get a little gimmies. So I have the number one kicker for this waiver wire video is going to be Rodrigo Blankenship, a.k.a. Goggles. He's available in about 47% of most leagues. Going against Tennessee this week. He had 15 points on Sunday. He didn't miss any field goals at all. He's actually really pretty accurate. And the matchup, last time they played against Tennessee, he put about, 8 or 9 points. It's not bad, right? You want to get to those double digits if you can as a kicker. But he's a good one. I like him a lot. He's very accurate. Indianapolis can go down the field. Doesn't necessarily always mean they're going to score. So I like him a lot this week. Next guy I want to talk about is Brandon McManus. I think with Denver, Drew Lock has done a pretty good job as far as their offense goes. They're going down the field. He's getting about 8 to 10 points a game, so he's a very solid kicker, very accurate kicker. He's available in about 71% of most leagues going against New Orleans. And New Orleans has a really good defense, at least on the pass rush side, right? They did a great job at stopping the run. Their secondary is a little iffy, but that means they're able to get down the field, and I expect some field goals out of this guy. Next is Daniel Carlson for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think with this guy, he's been up and down, but I like him a lot. He's available in about 50% of leagues, and they're playing against Atlanta. And again, the schedule that the Raiders have the next 3 games are pretty light. I expect a little bit more offensive points, which helps in fantasy. So I like Daniel Carlson a lot. As far as defensive teams, if you're streaming any this week, number one defense I have kind of on there is going to be Cleveland Browns. Browns did an amazing job this past weekend against Philly. Philly just looked horrible. And I like Cleveland's matchup this week as well. Then I've got the Giants. Again, Giants going against Cincinnati. They don't have Joe Burrow. That's going to change a lot coming up this week. I feel bad for a lot of those other fantasy players. It comes to Higgins and, Tyler Boyd as far as weapons coming up for Cincinnati. So I like Giants a lot. Giants defense is middle of the pack. They're actually a pretty good team. They do a really good job, and I expect them to have some good points this week. Another one you might want to consider, I didn't really put them on here, but I actually like the Miami Dolphins. They've got a good matchup as well. And Miami Dolphins are a really good defense this year as well. So that's another one I think you guys might want to grab. I didn't really kind of talk about them like I wanted to, but I think Dolphins might be another one. If you can grab them, make sure you do. So thank you guys for watching our Week 12. Again, 2 more weeks, guys. Week 12 waiver wire video. I hope some of these players are available for you guys. Hope some of these players are going to help you out with this Week 12 matchups that are coming up. Remember, there are 3 games for Thanksgiving. Obviously, there are no bye weeks this week, which is amazing. So everybody's playing, which is great. We're actually going to drop our start-sit video on Wednesday. Just I wanted to kind of get that video out a day earlier than Thanksgiving. I know there's a lot going on with family and things like that. So I want to make sure you guys have the chance to make sure your lineups are right. That way you're prepared for Thanksgiving Day. So all that's all set on Wednesday, so you don't have to worry about it on Thursday, right? We want you to enjoy your meal. So we'll drop our start-sit video on Wednesday. So thank you guys again for watching this stuff. If you subscribe, hope you hit that notification bell so you guys get this ding when we drop this video for you. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Please hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like. And remember, comment your favorite team. We want you guys to be part of this giveaway. We want to give away some stuff. So make sure you comment down below your favorite NFL team. That way you guys are entered in for the contest that we've got going on. If you have anything else, any other players you think that would be some good matchups, or waiver wire players that we did not talk about, please let us know down below in the comments. Also, again, follow us on Twitter and Instagram so we can help answer anything you guys have in real time. And have a good one.